Today we are going to talk about the Basic 10 for E-Learning by Molly Powell. I love this comic. It talks about my term paper, having some hypertext links, some full screen video clips, animated fonts, and some awesome 3D. And now all I need is a topic, because unfortunately what we tend to do is we tend to forget the actual point of e-learning, and that is that we need to make sure that we use technology to emphasize the point, and that technology should not be the point of e-learning. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to discuss today. We're going to discuss 10 different items in this very simple module. It should take about 15 to 20 minutes. The definition of e-learning, some e-learning roadmaps, some e-learning creation and authoring tools, defining the LMS. We'll do a quick assessment and talk about some resources, and also give you some additional information. So first, my name is Molly Powell, and for more than 10 years I've developed training programs to launch new applications, to align employees, and to help increase company value, to grow and cultivate company talent and their development of employees. But today, let's discuss e-learning, specifically the Basic 10 for e-learning. So first on our list, let's define e-learning. Lots of people, including me, assume that stood for electronic learning. And unfortunately, that is incorrect. So, for 2014, e-learning is now synonymous with online learning. And online learning typically includes audio, video, text, webinars, and some gaming elements. Now regarding gamification, when we say gamification, we don't actually mean gaming as in Xbox 20 or anything like that, Xbox 2, Xbox 4. It just means some gaming elements like some badges and things of that nature. But before we get started, let's get a quick baseline knowledge check before we proceed. What does WBT stand for? Anybody have any idea? Web-based training, so courses specifically designed for online learning. Number 2, what does SCORM stand for? And it's okay if you need to phone a friend, because this is a pretty difficult question. But SCORM actually stands for the Shareable Content Object Reference Model. It's a collection of standards and specifications for web-based e-learning, and it's actually from the Office of the United States Secretary of Defense. Last but not least, what is an AT? That is an authoring tool, and an authoring tool may or may not have the following items. They can use SCORM, some basic reports, most have tracking for a PowerPoint or video file, and some have repositories and assessments. You can create users and user groups and post or email a link to the course. Mobile support is becoming much more universal with ATs. Next up, let's talk about the e-learning roadmap. First off, you need to create some content, and that's over here with your ATs based on PowerPoint. So you can either create content with a PowerPoint, load that PowerPoint into an authoring tool, and then you can send it over to be enhanced with your ATs that either do or do not require PowerPoint. So for example, you have some ATs that do require PowerPoint. That would be iSpring, Brainshark, and Storyline. ATs that may not require PowerPoint. You'll notice Storyline is also in this list because you do not necessarily have to use PowerPoint to begin an e-learning course creation in Storyline. Captivate and Bricklayer both require PowerPoints, both do not have the ability to pull in PowerPoints for their e-learning modules. You'll then package it, either SCORM, a link, or bundle, and then you'll deploy it, either in an open source LMS like a Moodle or OpenElms, or another LMS like Cornerstone, Saba, or BlueVolt. So here's some possible e-learning paths. You can create and enhance in an authoring tool, and then you can just post all of that on a SharePoint site for deployment. You could create a PowerPoint, put it into an authoring tool and embellish it, add question and answers, and then just send it out in an email to the people you want to take that course. You can create and enhance an e-learning module in an authoring tool, package it in SCORM, and deploy it into your LMS or from your LMS. And lastly, you can create a PowerPoint, upload that PowerPoint into an authoring tool, package that final product into SCORM, and then deploy that final product from your LMS. So let's talk about creation and authoring tools. What do the authoring tools provide really? Well, they give us avatars and background templates, scenarios. So you can have someone sitting in a lab or sitting in a cubicle or at a desk. You can also have layers, triggers, actions, and properties. These are all customizable actions, allowing a full range of events that can happen in response to a learner's inputs. So with variables, for example, object 3a equals true when the timeline begins, the user can't continue to the next slide until object 3a is true, or until they click on 3a as the correct answer. So that's a great use of timelines. You can also do built-in narration tools, including some editing, and do some screen captures, recording tools. There's also some complex quizzing and branching for interactive and adaptive learning. So let's talk about packaging and deployment options. So first off, you could SCORM it. That's the most popular, and that SCORM package can have content with a quiz, including pass-fail data. It can use branching, complex quizzing, or you can deploy a course without an LMS via email or link posting. We call these deep links, and they are placed on a SharePoint site or sent in an email. You could also, and this is one of my favorites, force users to complete a course via the LMS by placing it in the user's LMS account. It's called a forced completion. So essentially, that user will receive notifications prior to the due date and after the due date if they have not finished that course, saying that they are required to do it. And their their manager will also receive emails and notifications advising them that the user has not completed that course as well. Lastly, we have something called bundling, where you can build certifications or bundle courses for specific needs. So for example, if you have seasoned sales employees who need totally different courses than your new sales employees, you can bundle those courses or make it into a certification program. Now let's talk about defining the LMS. What is it exactly? It is a high-level strategic solution to plan, deliver, and manage all learning events within an organization, including online, virtual, and instructor-led courses. And you can see a good example of this here. You've got a paying group, a non-paying group, who are all coming in through the internal audience or domain. They're all going through the LMS portal. Then down here you've got an all strictly paying group, so they are e-commerce group, and they are in the external audience, probably some clients or partners, and they are all coming in through the external domain, and they also have to go through that LMS portal. That LMS portal directs them into the training center and everything that they need in order to get that education online. So it manages learners, tracks their progress and performance across all types of training activities, performs those heavy-duty administrative tasks, such as reporting to HR and other ERP systems, but it isn't generally used to create course content. That's what our AT is for. So our LMS motto is anytime, any place, any pace access to learning, content, and administration. So what's the role of an AT? And what does an AT stand for? An authoring tool, and it is used to create and or enhance content for e-learning. So you could have created that information in PowerPoint and pulled it into the AT, or you could have started fresh in the AT, either way. All right, what's been in your experience with the learning management system. Just want you to take a couple minutes and think about that, and if you have someone in your room here with you, discuss that with them for a couple of moments. Lastly, here's some resources that was used in order to produce this very brief module. First off, the eLearning 24/7 blog, great blog, highly recommend it. eLearning magazine and Training Magazine Network. And there's a talentedlearning.com site, which is also very important as well. Additional information: 5 types of LMSs. There are lots of groups on LinkedIn. I'm a part of several of these groups. And there's actually a tremendous 2014 LMS list that's been compiled for you. If you can click on that and go see that list. It should be a pop-up for you. Thank you for completing the Basic 10 for eLearning. If you have any questions at all, please email me at themollygpowell@gmail.com. Thank you.